welcome back to Into the Blue Channeling with Laurie and Sarah. I'm Sarah,
I'm Lori.
and we're going
Very
to
sassy
be,
today.
yes, we're going to be jumping into some questions from the audience. We actually have a couple of
Yes.
Akashic Records questions. I might as well kick off with that. Um, so firstly, about the Akashic Records, is it possible to open two different records at the same time? And what would that achieve?
I'm very curious on this.
Is it possible to open two records at the same time? What does it achieve?
And to
So I'm getting,
clarify, yeah, I was gonna say me and Sarah, I know
yes.
viewers might be saying, well, don't you and Sarah do that? We do. We open up our joint ones. We're talking about even opening up like a client and mine, or is that what we're kind of
Yeah,
or
like
two
having being
people?
two different Akashic
Yeah.
libraries at the same time. I'm actually getting a thumbs up, like a yes.
Yes.
Um, so I'm hearing that that could actually be quite powerful.
Mhm.
Um, so the Palladian group of nine are indicating that there are various rules and regulations that have been put down in books about the Akasha. And they want to say that some of that is not terribly accurate.
Mhm.
Um, they're actually arguing that some of it is actually limiting beliefs
Yes.
that are not helpful and say not helpful anymore. But they're saying that yes, you can open one Akashic record and then another Akashic record all at the same time, and you can use the information from both records in a hybrid form. Um,
Yeah. I keep seeing that overlap. I just keep seeing like two hands interlocking and overlapping and saying that, because we are fractals of consciousness, that you will have overlap. So it can be very powerful, depending on who's you're opening up together, but it can help you bring be closer, to someone else or even bring closure with someone else. There may be something that um you can't get resolution on in this, lifetime just on your own, but by opening up the Akashic of a joint record, you can maybe see where something is coming from in another lifetime, and it's going to help you
yes, yes,
in this one to get that clarity. So I'm seeing a lot of C's, yeah, clarity, closure, communication, um, confirmation. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff pop in.
yes, yes, yes. But they are caveating a little bit, never see,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that that you do need the permission
Yes,
of the person that of the records that you want to open.
yes,
That they said that rule does still apply.
yes.
That is,
Ethics.
yes, yes, absolutely. They're saying the presence isn't necessarily required, but the permission certainly is.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. So jumping
Uh,
into another, oh yeah,
Sarah, I want to follow up on that. Is there ever a situation that it would not be beneficial or not advantageous to do that?
they said it can create
Uh,
confusion.
yes. Yeah.
That there can be that they might find the answers to be slightly conflicting
Mm-hmm.
between different records.
Yeah.
Um, which is an interesting thought. Do you want to explain more about that?
Yeah, as you were saying it, I was hearing it because okay, here it is, Sarah. They're saying what it is like for one situation, they're going to use us as an example. This isn't a true example, but they're going to do this to paint the picture. Maybe in a joint record that's me and Sarah are looking at a lifetime or whatever, maybe for her in that lifetime, it was a really good one and a powerful one, and she got a lot out of it. But for me, it was more about lesson learning and it was more of a traumatic lifetime. So even though it was a shared lifetime and there's some overlap, we would be experiencing two different things from that. So we may get two different experiences by opening up the joint Akashic. So for one, it could prove very positive. For one, it may be more of like, oh, I need to look at what I learned there from it. So just keep an open mind if that is the case when you're doing a joint record, looking at one. Just stay open to what it could teach you and what you can learn from it and experience it because that does often happen when you're part playing and doing multiple
Yes.
lifetimes with people over and over. So that makes sense. I like that.
Okay, okay. Just to clarify, that the original question is talking about like if I opened my records, so if I Sarah records
Hmm.
and opened Laurie's records at the same time, then
Yes.
that they're saying is possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Very interesting.
I like that.
Okay. So we received a question. Um, is it true that you should not be under the influence of drugs or alcohol to enter the Akashic records?
Mm. Do we need to clarify drugs as in like a, like a street drug rather than like a plant medicine, because some people lump all that together.
I mean, I'm getting an initial reaction of feeling like bodily very queasy and
Hmm.
sick. And they're kind of indicating um, that whilst you might be able to get in, it might not be a terribly helpful experience to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Um,
Yeah, could distort the answers being received.
yes. Yeah, that they're personally saying it's not a great mix. It's not something that would be helpful.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, you can literally get into the Akasha after having a glass of wine or whatever,
Mhm.
but it would impede the readings involved.
Hmm. Yeah, I was hearing
Okay.
like know your boundaries, know your limitations, like um because they were showing me like I know it's not a great idea for me to drink coffee if I'm gonna go on a flight or something like that because that just I don't mind flying, but I that's a boundary or something for me that I wouldn't necessarily like to do that right before I get on a flight. So they're kind of saying that like just know your individual boundaries and what your threshold is. Just be responsible, basically.
Okay, thank you. It's helpful.
Hmm.
Okay, so we received a question about subliminal messages. They're just asking generally, what advice would the PG9 recommend for working on subliminal messages?
This is my favorite topic. I love this. So I'm curious to see what other juicy info they want to give us.
I mean, I initially received keep it simple.
Hmm.
Don't like overthink or overcomplicate it. Um, they're saying focus on the core issue that you're hoping to address, and you don't need loads and loads and loads. Just try and find the core issue, the
Hmm.
kernel, the kind of starting point, and it might be different from the symptoms that this core issue is producing. But to see if you can go back to the core issue and keep it simple.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
obviously, this
Using
is more
the,
your wheelhouse, Laurie.
well, yeah, no, I think that's, I like that because, and because I was kind of hearing like, and work on, one thing at a time, seems to be the, message I'm getting as you were saying that. And it doesn't have to be, yeah, super in depth. Like if you're reprogramming something, give me an example, PG9. Okay, so they're saying like fear of snakes. So keeping it simple, you want to reprogram that or whatever. Well, you want to kind of go into this conscious to figure out where did that start? Like what is that actually rooted to? So that's how you would do your subliminal message. You're not going to just be like, I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm not afraid of snakes. You're not going to just do something repetitive like that and recording that for yourself to listen to. You're going to be wanting to go more to the root and just being like, I am to flip it basically like I am powerful. I am I can be around snakes with ease. You're going to flip the script rather than
Mm.
reinforcing the fear. You're going to reinforce the power or whatever the thing is that has been limiting you or making you feel like you are struggling in an area. Don't go with any lack or negative verbiage. Keep it on the positive and the like flipping the script to be an empowering subliminal around whatever the topic is. so that you can reprogram the subconscious from what's ever been embedded into it.
Yes. They're also showing me a bit cheekily that if you're not sure where the kernel, the original source of a
Yes.
figure or something is, you can go into your Akashic records to find out because it might be from a different lifetime or something like that.
Yeah,
You can dig deeper into that. Yeah, with all the tools, they're
it
definitely
is.
saying.
That's something powerful too that Sarah and I, we can even do for people because, as the Akashic is opened up, if somebody is struggling with something, we could go find, help you like find what that is. And then I record subliminals. I'm sure Sarah, she's done guided meditation, stuff like that too. So we could do a recording for you. It's a separate service that I offer, and then get that reprogrammed, of basically whatever was revealed in your reading, we can then pair it with a
Yes.
subliminal recording to kind of get, because I that's what I do for myself after what we
Yeah,
open up
yeah,
and
yeah.
find. I mean, I go
100%.
in
It's
and
like a twofer.
it is a twofer.
It could help you with both
Did the
aspects.
PG9 just drop in a new service offer for our
Sounds like a
clients?
great bundling for
I
the
like
holiday
it.
season. Am I right?
Logo. We'll have to put together a
Oh,
package like
that's
that or
so funny.
something. Yeah.
Thank you very
Again,
much.
the gift that always
Um,
fits, subliminals.
I have one more question here. It's a bit different.
Okay, oh
But
boy.
let's try this. So got a question. Could we ask about the statues called Moai on the island of Rapa Nui? When were they built? Were they constructed by ancient humans, or did they have multidimensional assistance?
I don't know who wrote that or where that came from, but yes, please.
That's a great question, guys.
I instantly got yes, multidimensional
Okay.
help.
So I'm getting a visual. Okay, so this is like Easter Island, the those big
That's okay.
statues. Okay, they're called Moai. So these are the ancestors, they're saying. These are their ancestors. And I guess the indigenous people of Rapa Nui, they have a connection, a kinship with these huge statues that connect to Turanga. I'm getting a Turang. I'm getting a Polynesian word like
Uh-huh.
Turangi. The ancestors is what I'm getting. So Laura, you got the confirmation that they had some multidimensional help. Is that correct?
Yeah, that
Should
came in
we tap
really
into that?
strong. That it
So let's
was,
try and see.
yeah. There was it's almost like I'm seeing kind of like they did it in their likeness as a tribute to who they were visited by.
Ah. I think it's actually more interesting that because I think there's actually um so the ancestral relationship is there, and the ancestral relationship does include multidimensionals
Yes,
from a
yes,
visit a long
yes.
time ago. So the PT9 are acknowledging that these are much, 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 much older than the official narrative in the academic world is led to believe. They're saying they're saying multiply by 10
Yes.
on the what's so that does take you back like 10,000
God,
years or something like that, 9,000 years
I
ago.
heard, yeah, even further. Yeah, it felt like
I'm feeling a
500.
really intense, like swirling feeling right now. This feels like a
Hmm.
really big energy experience that we're
Yeah.
channeling. But they're saying absolutely 10 times further back than the official narratives. Um, so do you want to show us who the multidimensionals were that visited Rapa Nui? What
I'm
happened?
also seeing, as you right before you said that that those statues have a magnetic field in and without around them that's like radiating out in the area. So they're not just like visuals, they're actually serving a purpose for of a magnetic field of sorts. I'm getting
I'm also
so much
getting
energy.
that there's a crystalline presence. They're saying that there's black obsidian in
Yes.
the statues.
Yeah.
They're saying that so not only is there like a grid of the statues, but they're actually connected through this black obsidian, which is so wild because I just did a grid involving that
Yes.
earlier today. Oh, synergies. But I would love to find out if we can clarify who visited them, who built them, who helped them to be built, and how.
Oh, okay. I'm not even sure I'm understanding this. I heard that it's a race of beings that kind of sound like, linearly speaking, no longer in existence. Like it almost feels like they're not residing on the planet from where they came from, is what I'm getting. Um,
Right, so transitory beings. And
yeah.
okay,
But the image and likeness is very spot on, is what I'm seeing. Mm, there's so much more here, and I can't quite make it all out.
it's hard, isn't it? And I am seeing like almost like a hybrid.
Mhm.
I'm seeing like a hybrid of like it looks like a mixture of like Greys and Syrians and like a whole Anunnaki even. Like I'm
Yes.
seeing a yes, like a very hybrid entities. Um,
I don't know why I keep hearing Maldak. I don't know what that is.
Oh, and I'm feeling such an intense energy. It's a very different,
Mhm.
like a swirling, like a spiral energy. It's not something like it's not as intense as some other entities that we've experienced. It's a
Yeah.
very, it actually makes me feel a bit dizzy, like I'm
It
like
does me too.
swirling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
right in my
yeah.
chest. I kind of am getting a lot of like acid reflux, more so than normal when I channel. Um,
But
it's
this is very, very fascinating. And thank you for the clarification. And we might need
yeah,
to do a part two.
yeah. That's
Thank you so much for the person that sent this in. And if you want to send in any additional questions to ask on an additional recording, then we can do that because this seems super fascinating.
yeah. I was getting well, and I kept. It's like I was feeling the granite of those statues. It was
Mhm.
very a very visceral feeling that I was like, it's like I could be inside that granite and touch it. That was very interesting. Like
Yeah, I'm
stone, a lot
getting.
of the stone.
But they're saying that they're part of the Tapuna, the ancestral line. Um, that's so cool.
I'm gonna have to look that up because I don't know what any, I've heard Rapa Nui. I think as soon as you said that felt familiar. But is this like in Hawaii or?
No, it's so Easter Island, as it used to be called Easter Island, is like off the coast of like South America. It's really in the middle of nowhere in the Pacific.
Yes.
I mean, okay,
Okay.
the Pacific Islanders wouldn't like me to say that, but like it's really like, in the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
I think it might be off Chile or something, like it's like far south.
Okay. I've seen those statues. As soon as that started coming in, I was like, okay. It kind of like more of like
Yeah.
a larger nose, kind of like I'm just because I keep saying the nose
Yeah, and a
part
very
and
like
like,
elongated head
yeah,
and like yes.
very cool.
Very cool. Thank you guys. Well, we'll
Fun.
finish there. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for everybody in
Yeah.
PD9 et al. who listened to today.
All the ones that showed up. If you didn't watch part one, go back and watch part one because we had some very fun stuff happening in part one with the messages that were being brought through. So part two is Q&A, obviously, what you just watched, but head over there and check that out. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with your friends. Go follow us on socials. Sometimes we do stuff over there that isn't being up on YouTube. So yeah, and send us a line if you want to connect or ask a question.
Until next time.
Till next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Into the Blue channeling with Laurie and Sarah. Please do like and subscribe to receive about our upcoming episodes. For further information, including how to submit your own question for Pleiadians, please visit intothebluechanneling.com or find us on social media at Into the Blue Channeling. See you next time!